Okay, welcome. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you for all of your love, your support. Thank you for joining me today. Um, if you watch me on a regular basis, you know that I have a lot on my plate, and so therefore, I don't get to do the weekly readings or anything as much as I would like, and I'm kind of going through a transitional phase, and I'm thinking, wow, it's eclipse season. Like, and it's so magical this year because we have three eclipses. Usually you have two eclipses for the season. You have the solar eclipse, then you would have the lunar eclipse. But this year we have the solar, well, we just had the solar eclipse. Then we'll have the lunar eclipse on July the 27th, I believe. And then come August the 11th, we will have another solar eclipse. And I thought, we're in such powerful energy this year. Being a collective 11 year, 2018, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 is 11. So 11 is the justice card. 11 is bringing in the balance. The 11 is making the hard decisions, making the hard commitments, making the hard choices, giving 110%, walking and talking with integrity, acting with integrity, being committed to yourself, your dreams, your goals, and your desires. And when we can do these things, when we can focus on that energy and move ourselves in that direction, magical, beautiful successes that you can't even imagine can come out of this kind of energy. So this year has been a very magical year. We have other transits still coming in the mix for the year of magic entering our lives, these moments of magic. So, and a couple of things I've noticed about the energy. One is that the numerology for the day for July the 12th was a 3. And then I think for the lunar eclipse, it's a 9. So that, and nines are all about endings and completions. And then the new solar eclipse in August, forget the fact that it's on the 11th and we're in the 11 years, so it's a double 11 energy for us. But it also boils down to a 3 again. And the 3 is the Empress. So it is all about our new beginnings, our new starts, the birthing of an idea, a plan, a goal, a dream, a desire. Now, also the solar eclipse in August, the numerology is actually a 30, and you rarely get a 30 number or 30 energy for a daily. So the 30 energy alone, even the worst kind of things are beautiful, are magical, are wonderful. There's success sprinkled everywhere in your lives. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to rejoice. It's a time to say, I've got this. It's a time to plant those new seeds and to grow forward. Tapping yourself into your creativity with the 30 energy, tapping yourself into the creativity, your self-expression will just take you to the next level. So it's really about being true with yourself, to yourself. So I thought I would do each of the signs, and I just kind of wanted to kind of give that front for everybody, so that when I do the eclipse season videos for you individually, now the sun, the moon, and the ascendant, you should be checking all three. Okay. The sun is your outward, your deepest goals in life, what's important to you, how people view you, how you want people to view you, your goals, your dreams, your desires, your outward world. The moon is your emotion. How do you express yourself? How do you respond to things emotionally? And where can you grow emotionally? Where can you strengthen yourself emotionally? And then the ascendant is relationships, partnerships. So you want to know all of that when you are looking at these eclipses, and you need to view them individually, yes, but you also need to view them as a collective energy because they're building up upon each other. So a solar eclipse is a time of new beginnings, new chapters, new starts, new visions of your tomorrows, planting the seeds. So that's a new moon. A full moon, and the energy will last up to 4 weeks. A full moon is a time for completion, endings, healing, seeing where we are, seeing where we want the new beginnings and what has held us back. And that energy will last up to 4 weeks. So, but a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse will last up to 6 months. Now, I think the Leo energy kind of supersedes the Cancer energy to some degree, because it is the final eclipse going forward before we hit the fall. So we have to look at all 3 areas and how we can walk towards our new beginnings, our new starts, our goals, our dreams, our desires, growing relationships deeper, traveling, education, groups and friends, our service to others, our destiny perhaps. What type of healing or closure do we need in our life? What kind of completion do we need? Learning more about ourselves. And I think the Cancer eclipse was a lot about learning a little bit about ourselves, knowing that we don't need to control everything. It was the sun and the moon opposing Pluto during this. So Pluto is the one that, Pluto, you have to ask yourself, how can I grow? How can I grow through deepening my own self-knowledge? Seeing where I react, seeing where I try and control, seeing where I might have a goal in mind, but it's not for the highest good. It has an underlying of manipulation or wanting to keep things the same, or stubborn, or jealousy might be driving my goal. Wanting to show off, wanting to let my ego shine instead of my heart shine. So where does that happen in my life? And I think throughout the course of the next 4 weeks, we'll be given glimpses of, now, why are you in the situation? And what is it trying to teach you about yourself? We come to the lunar eclipse. And that is more about groups and friends and social causes, humanitarian ideas, global awareness, and yes, ideas in general, inventive imagination, creativity. I think Mars is very close, if not exact, with this full moon. And so it's in retrograde. I would have to think that we are looking at how to go forward, of breaking through the wall, of knocking the wall down, so kind of watch your anger, back it up, think it out, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do. Don't let that knee-jerk reaction come through. Mars is always wanting to go forward. Mars is our warrior. And Pluto, Pluto was the Cancer. That's our inner warrior being awoken with Pluto retrograde. Mars retrograde, we are walking back over some of our steps, some of our actions, or lack of action. And so we need to analyze what didn't allow a closure in my life, what didn't allow an ending in my life. Where am I fighting that healing that could come into my life and open up new doors and new ways of looking at things, new perceptions. And then we have the Leo. solar eclipse. And we have that 1111 energy. We've got that 30 energy. We've got the 3 energy of the Empress. Leo is our play. Leo is our romance. Leo is, getting up on that soapbox and saying, this is who I am and I love me for it. This is tapping into your creativity, sharing yourself through self-expression, creativity, recreation. But it's very much a me kind of energy. So throughout this solar eclipse to lunar eclipse and then back to the solar eclipse, and I failed to mention that Cancer, it was in our 4th house, right? That's family and home and heritage and foundations. So we'll probably be looking over the next couple of weeks, especially a little bit more towards our immediate home life, our family, our close friends, our allies, our close allies that we trust, that we lean on for support, that give us support, that give us encouragement. Our tribes, our clans, our foundations. And then it moves into more of a collective energy of groups of people, our humanitarianism, our social causes, our global awareness, and yes, our creativity and how we can use our creativity, our inventiveness in order to not only touch our life, our close family lives, but the collective. And then we move into Leo, which is that me center, that I am. That's the sun. It's ruled by the sun. Once again, what's our deepest goals? What's our deepest dreams? And how do we go forward? And we spent time contemplating home, family, foundations, groups, friends, global. And then we finally get to planting our seeds, which is our goals, our dreams, what we want in our life. So I'm going to do a reading for each of you, and stay tuned because it should, if I figure out how to edit properly, it should be coming on now. But in case I mess up, remember, I do love you. Welcome, Sagittarius. This is eclipse season. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And thank you. Thank you truly for all of your positive, loving, supportive energy. And I probably said it, and I probably got it right for the editing, but just in case. So let's look at the cards and see how we can move through this eclipse season with a sure foot, with a positive attitude. King of Cups. What's the plan? What's the plan? Now, for you, the first solar eclipse, the solar eclipse was in Cancer. So that is death and rebirth. That is growth and change. Sexuality. Then it goes to your 3rd house. That's your mindset. That's the way you communicate. And then the final solar eclipse is in Leo, which is your 9th house. And that's where study and education and learning and travel and journeys and adventures open up to you. And those are the seeds that we are going to ultimately plant. So, our stereotypical dad sits on his throne and looks you in the eye very sternly and says, what's your plan? What do you want to do going forward? Let's get some details in here. Let's think it through. How much money are you going to need? Where are you going to live? Who are you going to surround yourself with? this out of the way. It's in my way to lay out the cards. Our second card is the Knight of Pentacles. So surveying the land, making the plan. It's all about making the plan right now into the adventure that you want to step into. It's like you get to write the script, you get to write the movie, you get to write the novel. So what are you writing? Are you just hoping? Are you got some plan? Do you have the outline, the sketch? Then fill it in. Get the detail. And you hold the pen, you hold the paintbrush. You are taking off the blinders, you are surveying the land, you can see in which direction you can go safely, surely. And the Five of Pentacles, know your true worth. Look inside and embrace yourself, love yourself. Know that you are wonderful, know that you are creative and magnificent. And know that whatever you see going forward, you deserve. Know that you have talents and abilities that can take you to the next level of anything that you want to attempt, try, step into. And once again, I'm really getting it with this card. It's like you're wiping the slate clean. You're saying, okay, this is who I am. This is what brings me passion. This is what brings me joy. This is what brings me happiness until nothing else remains. And those are the things we're going to focus on. Those are the things we're going to put our energy on. For work, career, what defines you? Now, most people, work and career do define them. But if I were to meet you, would you tell me what you do for a living? Most people do. Some people, though, will tell me what they do in the community, or their spirituality, their health and well-being, their loved ones, their families, where they live. Three of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles. And this tells me that you have learned a lot of things, that it's time to put it all together into a masterpiece. And if you don't know what that masterpiece is going to look like, if you didn't even know that there was supposed to be a masterpiece, and here I am telling you there is one, then go with the flow. Let the situations carry you to where you need to be. Fall in love with what you truly want to do. I think Venus just moved into Virgo, and that's work and career. So definitely you have the energy throughout this next month to really imagine what life would be like living your passion, living your dream. Whatever that is, whatever your definition of abundance is, and you are raising the bar on yourself and your goals and your dreams and your desires. And yes, there's a little bit of looking back, but you know, only to bring everything together, please. Not to tear yourself down for a past failing or a mistake, or what you considered was a mistake. It was there to teach you something that you're going to desperately need for wisdom now, and you've got it. For love and relationships, the Seven of Pentacles, what are you cultivating with the Queen of Wands? Look at that fire. What are you cultivating? Do you really want the passion in the relationships? Now, this could be a soulmate, a lover, yes, but it could be reviving or putting some energy into a relationship with a best friend, a co-worker that you are close to, or somebody in the community, or a parent, or a child, a sibling. What are you cultivating? What are you growing? What is the energy that you want to throw in that relationship, bring into that relationship? Is it doable? First of all, is it doable? Is it something that can be done? Or what are you expecting out of it? I get it more of what you're putting into it, though. You're half of the bargain. So look at your relationships and ask yourself, what am I cultivating in this relationship? Am I building walls between us for absolutely no reason? Am I allowing them to build walls for absolutely no reason? Do I want those walls to exist? Where can you allow the passion and the sensuality flow freely? Where can you create that? And do you want to create that? What's the message that you want to give them? What is their value and worth in your life? What is yours to them? What are you cultivating with each person you know? For spirituality, Six of Cups. Yeah, it's your history. You know, I was going to tell the Jupiter story, and then I thought, oh, you know, here we go on a little tangent story again, but I'm being called to it once again. And it really is this card, because this is nostalgia, looking backwards. And so I'm going to try and get it right, because it's more of a Jupiter energy. But I think the Jupiter is playing a part in the solar eclipse with Leo. So I think its energy is spiked. So maybe this is the message that Jupiter is trying to get you to explore, going deep within, seeing your hidden talents, your raw talents, bringing them to the surface. So, young woman works with her father, making threads and bringing threads together and making ropes in all different sizes. And one day her father comes to her and says, you know, it's time for you to marry. So let's go on a journey and find a husband for you. And so they set out, but unfortunately she is stolen by kidnappers, and they sell her as a slave. And somebody sees her and says, you know, I could probably give that girl a nicer life if I took her as a slave than some of these other people here. So I could use somebody. So he takes her and he teaches her how to make giant poles. And that's what he does. So she learns how to make these magnificent long poles with designs. And one day, as they are sailing to sell the poles, pirates take over the ship and steal her away. And she is forced into making the canvases for the tent sails. And so she learns how to make different woven heavy fabrics. And then a giant storm comes up, and she's the only one that's left alive, and she's washed ashore. And she's kind of so frustrated at this time. And she looks up into the sky and she's like, seriously, every time I think I get it all together and my ducks are in a row and I start to like who I'm around and what I'm doing and I've accepted my fate, you go and you just pull the rug right from underneath my feet again. And here I am, alone, stranded on a beach again. Well, what's my fate this time? Bring it on. Like, give me a break already. Little did she know that she landed on the shores of China, where there was a myth that a single woman would be washed ashore and she would be able to build the most magnificent, beautiful tent in all the world. And so the emperor had always wanted to find this woman. So he would send a search party out every couple of days, and they came upon her. And they said, we have to take you to the emperor. And she says, sure, let's go. So away they go to the emperor, and the emperor says, so can you make a tent? And she says, well, yeah, I can make a tent. She's seen half the world, so she's seen a lot of tents. I can make a tent. And they go, okay, what do you need? We'll give you anything you need. And she says, well, first I need some heavy cloths. And they go, well, we don't have anything like that here. And she goes, well, I know how to make it. So they gave her the stuff to make it and the people. And when she was all done making all the tarps, she says, okay, now I need some very long poles. And they go, well, we don't know how to construct anything like that. So she says, I do. And so she got the resources to make the long poles. And she says, okay, finally we're done. We just need some ropes. And they go, ropes? What are these things you call ropes? And she goes, that's okay. I know how to make ropes. And so she taught everybody how to make the ropes. And then when she erected it, it was her own beautiful creation. And it was a accumulation of all the tents she had ever seen, and it was marvelous and it was beautiful, and the emperor was so pleased and happy, and it raised and elevated his love that he got from his kingdom and support. So he calls her in front and he says, what can I do for you? You've done this magnificent thing for me. What can I do for you? And she thinks, and she says, well, a long time ago I set out to be married, so I guess I would like to be married. And the emperor said, marry me. And she said, okay. And so through all the fires and the sorrows and the challenges and the struggles and the chaos that you have gone through, it's time for it all to come together. It's time for you to marry the emperor. So when we are looking at our past, please don't look with emotion, but rather, what did I learn from that time period? And how can I utilize it going forward? How can I bring it together? Maybe you know a little bit of a whole bunch of things, but not a lot of anything. And maybe the accumulation of all those things together actually makes something new and wonderful for the world to look at or talk to or talk about or grow with or better themselves because. What have you learned on your path? Seemingly unexpected. And I think the more you look backwards, the more you will start to say, well, I'm really good at this and I can do that. And if I applied it here, I could go forward in this way. And oh, I remember doing that. I should pull that out of the closet and see what that's about. Or maybe it's in relationships. It's the adventure. It's where you can go. Like I said with the very first card, you know, Dad is asking you. And then for career and what defines you, it's raising the bar on yourself. And it's bringing in some kind of accumulated knowledge. And maybe it's a way to help your community. Maybe it's a way that it is a way that you can bring joy into other people's life. Health and well-being. A high priest. Look inside, you have the knowledge. You know, I've really gotten this health and well-being kind of almost like we need to release the stresses in our life that binds us, that ties us down, that weighs us down, that wears us out. Stress is horrifying. It can lead you into states of sadness, depression, not wanting to try anymore. It can turn up as a cold sore or a cold or the flu or that crick in your neck, that sore back, or something worse. And go within and tap into your knowledge. This card says you have it. And it will lead you to your next journey, your next opportunity. And I think for some of the things you almost need a courage to really look at. So it was probably something somebody told you that you couldn't do ever, or made you feel like you weren't worthy or deserving of doing it, or creating it, or achieving it. But you're wearing completely, this starched white shirt underneath. So it's the purity and the newness coming through, your light coming through. So get ready for the journey. Get ready, and Jupiter will be moving into your sign by year's end. So get ready for the adventure. Get ready for the expansion. Expect it. But over the next month, really look within. Really get to know yourself, your talents, your abilities, what you used to like to do, what you love to do now, how you can bring it all together and step into, well, whatever you decide to create. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.